Hello, it's Nostradamus again, bringing you Foreign Age news on this last day of autumn in 2020. We've almost made it through to the end of the year. I do hope everyone's looking forward to Christmas on their own in solitary due to these COVID restrictions. I'm really pleased I've made it up to 90 subscribers now. I did have 91, but somebody fucked off.
How dare you!
I'd like to begin by showing you the last week's solar eclipse over South America as viewed from space.
Awesome!
Now, here is the news. Farmer fish become first animal found domesticating another species. Ooh. This is from New Atlas. A log-fin damselfish has been found to domesticate mysid shrimp. Human civilization wouldn't be where it is today if we hadn't domesticated animals to be either loyal or cuddly or dumb and tasty. Now researchers in Australia have discovered what they claim is the very first example of an animal domesticating another animal, a fish species found to recruit tiny shrimp to help tend their algae farms. So far, the only other organisms known to domesticate others have been insects, for example ants farm aphids, protecting them from predators in exchange for the sweet sticky goo they excrete, but the behaviour has never been observed in other vertebrate species before. On an expedition to coral reefs in Belize, a team led by researchers at Griffith and Deakin universities discovered that logfin damselfish appeared to have domesticated mysid shrimp. The relationship sounds familiar. Damselfish are known to farm algae for food, and it appears that they use mysid shrimp feces as fertilizer to help their crops grow. In return, the shrimp are given a safe haven to live. The fish will chase off any shrimp-craving predators that swim too close. The scientists found that the mysids are actually attracted to the smell of the damselfish, while they actively avoid the smell of predators and don't seem to pay any attention to non-farming fish nor the algae farm itself. To test whether the fish actively protect the shrimp, the researchers placed the mysids in a clear bag and then placed that bag either inside or outside the farm. Sure enough, outside farms, other fish tried to eat the shrimp, but inside the farms, any predators that came too close were shooed away by the farmer fish. And finally, the team tested what benefit the shrimp gave the fish. They found that the quality of the algae and the health of the fish improved when the shrimp were around compared to farms without shrimp. Now it's over to I fucking love science. Earth's north magnetic pole is heading towards Siberia, and scientists now know why. Well, they probably know why because they probably watched my video from August last year where I showed my own theory on it, and these are just copycats. The North Magnetic Pole is on the run, and scientists might finally know why. Since it was first documented by scientists in the 1830s, the North Magnetic Pole has wandered some 2,250 kilometres, which is 1,400 miles, across the upper stretches of the Northern Hemisphere from Canada towards Siberia. Between 1990 and 2005, the rate of this movement accelerated from less than 15 kilometres per year to around 50 to 60 kilometres per year. A new study, published this week in the journal Nature Geoscience, argues the changes could be explained by the toing and froing between two magnetic blobs of molten material in the planet's interior, causing a titanic shift of its magnetic field. What we've discovered is that the North Magnetic Pole's position is controlled by two patches of magnetic field, one underneath Canada and one underneath Siberia, and they act as a tug-of-war effect, controlling the location of the pole. Historically, the Canadian patch has been winning the war, and that's why the pole has been centred over Canada. But in the last few decades, the Canadian patch has weakened and the Siberian patch has strengthened slightly. That explains why the pole has suddenly accelerated away from its historical position, which is exactly my theory, which I showed last year. If you would like to watch my video explaining my theory from August last year, it's this one. Please check it out. Now for some really bad news. Looks like Brazilian rainforest has gone past its tipping point. Forests in Brazil emitting more carbon than they absorb due to climate change, says study. The trees are experiencing climate-induced mortality. Tropical forests in Brazil have begun to release more carbon than they absorb as the warming climate kills more of the trees. The forests play an important role in the climate fight for their ability to absorb carbon dioxide from Earth's atmosphere, but dry and warm seasonal forests in southeastern Brazil have been progressively absorbing less carbon while releasing more over time, with the region transitioning from a carbon sink to a carbon source in 2013, according to a study published Friday in Science. The region has experienced a 2.6% decrease in carbon gains per year and a concurrent 3.4% increase in carbon losses, the study found. That's bad if that's per year. Researchers studied 33 years of data from the region. The driest and warmest forests are experiencing the highest increase in carbon dioxide emissions as higher temperatures kill more trees. Previous studies on the Amazon rainforest have shown that increasing levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere may boost plant growth and as a result carbon storage, but the data shows that seasonal tropical forests do not experience similar outcomes, the researchers said. Well, there's only so much nutrients in the ground, so you will have an initial boost to growth because of the increased carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, but once that nutrients in the ground's been used up, it's buggered, isn't it? Up until 2013, Brazil was the largest source of carbon emissions due to gross deforestation, and seasonal dry tropical forests are especially sensitive to changes in climate due to the periodic droughts they already face naturally, according to the study. Golden line tamarins. That was in 2014, they're probably gone. The authors concluded that conservation policies for the driest and warmest Brazilian forest sites, as well as political action to mitigate greenhouse gas emissions, are needed to prevent further damage to the tropical forests. Oh well, what's the point if they've already gone past the tipping point? Hey! Here's a funny little story from Live Science. Man who died of constipation 1,000 years ago ate grasshoppers for months. His mummified megacolon showed just how backed up he was. The man lived in the lower Pecos Canyonlands of Texas, sometime between 1400 and 1000 years ago. The arid area where he was buried caused his body to become naturally mummified. And during the painful months just prior to his death, he ate mainly grasshoppers, the study researchers found. Apparently, Chagas disease, which is caused by a parasite called Trypanosoma cruzi, had blocked up the man's gastrointestinal system. That blockage caused his colon to swell to about 6 times its normal size, a condition called megacolon. The man was unable to digest foods properly and gradually became malnourished. The condition would have made it difficult for the man to walk or even eat on his own. The researchers think that in the last 2 to 3 months of his life, either family or members of his community helped the man eat by feeding him grasshoppers whose legs had been removed. The grasshopper diet discovery will be published in a chapter of a forthcoming book, The Handbook of Mummy Studies, Springer 2021. The chapter will also publish studies of 2 other mummies who received special care at the end of their lives. These include a 5 to 6-year-old child who died between 500 and 1,000 years ago in Arizona, who was fed fruit from the saguaro cactus in the final weeks of her life. Oh, I can't wait to get my hands on that book and read that. How riveting! I don't really believe he died of constipation. I think just eating all them grasshoppers made him inclined to hop off the edge of the cliff. Right, that's it with the news. Let's get on with the rest of it. This is today's climate reanalyzer for Sunday, December the 20th, 2020, showing the 2-meter temperature anomaly. And as you can see from the numbers, the world is just at 0.2 degrees above normal, with the northern hemisphere at 0.6. The Arctic's getting really chilly, minus 0.6. We check out the whole of the southern hemisphere, half the planet has dropped down to lower than the 1979 to 2000 average. I think the battle has begun. This is my proposed battle, which will take place as the heat fights with the cold, as the Earth tries to bring itself back into balance, because of us naughty humans keep warming it up. I believe that for as long as there is sea ice in the Arctic, this battle will continue, as lots of little negative feedbacks kick into place to try and cool the planet down. And I think it is quite possible they could actually throw us into another ice age. But if that doesn't happen and the sea ice disappears, then it's hell on earth, I'm afraid. But before then, during this time of chaos, we're going to see extreme temperature swings in both directions, record low temperatures in some places, record highs in others. It's going to be absolute climate chaos as the fight goes on. Sorry about this, but I'm going to be a bit lazy and just pick out the cold weather stories from the watchers. So going back to July the 3rd, summer snowstorm kills nearly 500 livestock animals, strands 400 tourists in Xinjiang, China. An unexpected summer snowstorm hit Xinjiang, China on June 29, 2020, resulting in traffic disruption, more than 400 tourists stranded, and deaths of nearly 500 livestock. And August the 24th, more than 100,000 livestock animals perish as intense snowstorms hit Patagonia, 70% of flock at risk. Intense snowstorms and frosts hit Patagonia amid one of the region's worst winters in 2 decades, which has badly affected the agricultural sector. More than 100,000 livestock animals have perished, according to officials' first estimates of losses. More recent couple stories from Canada in November the 9th, all-time November snow records broken for parts of the Canadian prairies. A strong low-pressure system brought blizzard conditions, heavy snow and freezing rain to parts of the Canadian prairies on November the 7th and the 8th, shutting down roads in Saskatchewan and Alberta and setting new all-time November snow records. And then on the 26th, a 2-day blizzard that started on Monday brought record-breaking snow up to 30 inches to Labrador, Canada, resulting in the closure of roads and offices, cancelled flights and suspected classes. December 7th, major winter storm buries parts of Alps under more than 3 metres of snow, Europe. A major winter storm that started affecting parts of Europe on Friday, December the 4th, has dumped more than 3 metres of snow in parts of Italy and Austria by the end of December the 6th, and more than 30 inches of rain in the town of Barsis. December 16th, exceptionally cold air expected after major winter storm hits the mid-Atlantic and northeast with heavy wet snow and freezing rain, United States. A major winter storm is expected to significantly impact much of the mid-Atlantic and northeast on Wednesday into Thursday. A widespread swath of heavy wet snow is likely from the central Appalachians and interior mid-Atlantic. December 16th, snow piling up at an unprecedented rate in Japan. The season's most powerful cold air mass is bringing remarkably heavy snow to wide swaths of Japan on Wednesday, December 16th. Meteorologists said the snow is falling at an unprecedented rate due to the combination of unseasonably cold Siberian air. Let's take a look at the latest report in more detail. Military deployed after record snowfall strands more than 2,000 vehicles in Japan. The snow was falling at an unprecedented rate over parts of Japan this week, stranding more than 2,000 vehicles and forcing authorities to deploy the military to help track people. In addition, more than 10,000 homes were left without electricity. JMA said that heavy snow will continue to fall through the weekend, mainly in areas on the Sea of Japan coast. Whee! The line of cars at one point stretched up to 10 miles. Toru Obata, East Nippon Expressway president, said some people have been taken to hospital after feeling unwell, while apologising to those who are still stranded. Food, fuel, blankets and portable toilets were distributed to drivers of stuck vehicles, he said. Up to 1,000 vehicles remained stuck on Friday. Cold air mass brings record snowfall to north of Tokyo. Meteorologists said the snow was falling at an unprecedented rate due to the combination of unseasonably cold Siberian air and unseasonably warm ocean temperatures. So that's what you get. In 72 hours, up to December 17th, Minakami in Gunma Prefecture received a record 217 centimetres of snow, 7.1 feet, while Yuzawa in Niigata Prefecture saw over 180 centimetres, almost 6 feet. In just 24 hours, parts of Gunma recorded over 4 foot of snow, and Niigata 3.7. I think we're going to see records shattered all over, everywhere in 2021. Highs and lows, both extremes. I'm here on Windy now, looking at the line snow depth at present. You can see the whole of the continent snowed under. We've got the line snow in the Alps. Purple is 3 meters or more. Why is it doing this? Acting up tonight, my computer. It's already froze up once. So I'm already about 2 hours behind where I should be. Hey, there we are. More than 5 meters in a couple of places. It's 3 to 5 meters of snow in lots of spots. There's some avalanches there. We've also got greater than 5 meter snow depths in northern Pakistan, Tajikistan, Western China area. Practically the whole of Western Japan is under snow at the moment, getting up to depths of over a meter in the mountainous areas. All of southern Alaska and coastal western Canada, it looks like it's been totally hammered so far this year. This is just the start of winter. Right, while I'm over on Wendy, I'm looking at the dew points in the atmosphere at 600 meters high in the atmosphere. This is the very latest, as I'm recording, Sunday the 20th, midnight, my time, almost. And this looks out of place here, where the dew point is lower than all the surrounding area, and we've got bits and spots of it also in northern Siberia. Now compare that to when we look at the methane emissions from the surface in the Arctic, and this is from earlier today. The methane is coming up in exactly the same 2 places. So these can't be small amounts of methane coming up if it's affecting the dew points in the atmosphere directly around the source of the methane. It's a perfect match. Now it's time for Nostradamus' 2020 book review, where I'll be giving you my top 10 recommendations of things to read before everything goes to shit. First up, we have The Great Flood by April Showers. Frozen in Time, Antarctic. Losing the Amazon by Tim Burr. The Paris Climate Agreement by Mr. Target. Adapting to a Warmer World by the very talented author C. Wall. The End of Modern Industrial Civilization by Major Collapse. Problem Plastic by Recycler. What is the Blue Ocean Event by Icy Past. Climate Catastrophe by No Escape. And Faster Than Previously Thought by E-Bar Gum. Didn't they sign an important agreement in Paris before? 1919, wasn't it? Look what happened then in 1939. Bloody hell, it's time for the cow fart report. This is going to probably be my last methane update of 2020. I intend to take a little break from the Domesticated over Christmas. So I'll be back with plenty more doom and gloom in 2021. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of stuff to report about. Anyway, here we go. Latest methane, as we can see, 931 up to 300 millibars. It's continuing to drop round about the same rate as it did after the this time last year. Down another 1 parts per billion this week after last week's massive drop of 3.3 parts per billion. Looking at the difference between this year and last year, we've gone to overall on average 16.5 parts per billion higher now than where we were at this point 12 months ago. Looking at 300 millibars in the atmosphere in particular, we can see we've crept back up to 30 parts per billion higher than where we were at this point 12 months ago. Levels are also continuing to fall higher up in the atmosphere, from 477 up to 151 millibars, as they should be doing at this time of year. We're down to 1885.1 on my 3-week rolling average. This week's actual average is 1882.3, so we should expect this to fall further during the next few weeks. Now over to my projections for the next 12 months. I've fed the latest figures for the lower atmospheric levels into the Doomatron, and these are my projections based upon different rates of increase each week of methane in the atmosphere, and the green line is the current trajectory, and due to the current rather large drops in methane over the last couple of weeks, we seem to be settling down between the red and the yellow trajectories, the yellow being the low and the red being the medium and the blue being the high worst case scenario trajectory. So this at the moment at current levels and trajectory will put us round about here at about 30 parts per billion higher than where we were 12 months ago. But all this can change, as we know. Now, in my last video, I gave you the Wikipedia version definition of a doomer. I don't know who wrote that, but it certainly wasn't a doomer. So now I would like to present to you my personal definition of what a doomer really is. A doomer views the world in a different light to your average Joe. He or she usually reaches their state of mind in their life around the age of 40, when they've come to the realization and conclusion that not necessarily something can be done, but rather nothing will be done to alter the path of destruction the human race has set itself upon. Many doomers now believe that time to change has already run out, and it's already too late to do anything about it. Doomers suffer through extreme bouts of depression, undergoing a grieving process for what has already been lost and for the death of the natural world that is still to come. Doomers make a personal choice to become non-breeders once they've decided that all hope is lost, assessing that the burden of guilt would be too much to bear, bringing new life into a dying world where suffering is all there is to look forward to. Doomers also become isolated, bottling up their thoughts and emotions, reluctant to talk about their fears to friends and family, in case of being ridiculed or ostracised. Doomers often find solace seeking out, connecting with, and befriending others who share their bleak outlook. There is an ever-growing number of doomers day by day, as more and more people are opening their eyes to the predicament we find ourselves in. And that is what I think a doomer is. So, congratulations to everyone for surviving 2020. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everyone. I'll see you all in 2021. Allowing for cyber attacks not happening between now and then. Goodbye.